Hey, what's going on, guys? So this is going to be the last video in my new series of these top five videos. And for those of you that are finding this video first over the other five videos, I'll go ahead and explain what I'm doing here. I have five videos that I have out, and what they are is a top five in each category of lures that I reviewed over the past few years. So all the lures that I reviewed and tried over the last few years, I decided to put out a subjective review of what I like as far as what my top five choices are when I go out and fish in each category. And the categories are hollow body frogs, topwater hard baits like spooks and poppers, lipless crankbaits, rip baits, and then this category, which is shallow diving crankbaits or squarebill crankbaits. And you know, my reviews over the past few years have remained fairly objective, which means, you know, pertaining to a lot of fact and a less opinion, where this is going to be, you know, this is my opinion, this is what I think is good. Because I get a lot of people asking me all the time, hey Kevin, what's junk, what's good, what should I choose for my first time, you know, I want to make an order, what should I get? Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys what I like, starting with number 5, moving all the way to number 1. And I also have an honorable mention in here too that I really feel like I want to talk about, because Squarebill crankbait, shallow diving crankbait is probably one of my favorite lures to buy out of all of the lures that I have. This is actually the category that got me into trying out lures and seeing what was good and what was junk and stuff. This is the category. So this is the category that I have the most out of all the baits that I have is shallow diving crankbaits and squarebill crankbaits and such. So we're going to go ahead and start with number 5, which might be a surprise to some people, but it's really a worthy number 5. And this is the Lucky Strike RC2, the Rick Clunn edition. This lure came out a couple years ago, and I really like this lure a lot. I think it's really good. The construction on it is really well made. He really seemed to, or whoever made it, I mean, it's a signature bait, so I assume Rick Clunn, but whoever designed this lure really did a nice job on it. I really like, this is the 3, by the way. It's the only one I use. I don't use any of the bigger ones or any of the smaller ones. I think they have a 1, 2, 3, and a 4. And this is like the 3/8 ounce one. As far as shallow diving crankbaits are concerned, or squarebill crankbaits, this size, the 3/8 ounce size, or the 2.5 inch size, or some people will call it a 1.5 size, is my favorite size out of all of them. It's compact enough to cast well, but it's not so big and overbearing that it doesn't like to dive down and get down to that 3 to 5 feet depth area that a lot of these crankbaits are designed to go to. I've caught lots of fish, especially on this one with this teal back here. I've caught lots of fish on this one, but I've caught a couple fish on this one too, and these are really just nice crankbaits. Every crankbait that I put inside of my top 5 here, because it was really hard to make a top 5 because there's so many good ones out there. Every one that I have in my top 5 here is really, really nice. And I think for the price tag of like $5 or $6, and you can find these everywhere. They're at like Walmart. I got a bunch of these at Walmart, and they're like $5 or $6, which is a great price tag. They've got decent hooks on them. They're not the best, but they've got decent hooks on them. And they've got great color choices, and the colors really hold up well. Like I said, I've caught a bunch of fish on this one here, and you really can't even tell that it's been through the ringer. You can kind of tell on the bill a little bit that it's been jammed up against some rocks and stuff like that. But really, I mean, these lures, the finishes on them, they really hold up well. They must have like a thick gel coat on them. You see it says RC2 right there on the top of the head there. These are really nice crankbaits. If you guys haven't tried them and you guys are stuck on whatever your budget crankbait is, give these a shot for a budget crankbait, because these, I don't think you'll be disappointed in them. Like I said, I haven't had any of them break. I probably got probably about 7 or 8 of them, and they've all done really, really well for me. That's the Rick Clunn RC2 by Lucky Strike. Not to be confused with Lucky Craft, because that's who Rick Clunn used to be a part of, was Lucky Craft years ago, and now he's with these guys. So my number 4 is going to be the Jackall Aska. I really like this Aska a lot. Some people will choose, what's the other one? I think it's the MC2, I think is what it's called. This is a much nicer crankbait in my opinion. It's got a fiberglass bill on it, which there's a couple different schools of thought on the fiberglass bills. For me, I just like how thin it is, and I like the strength that is offered with it. I mean, you're going to get little chips and stuff along the leading edge of the bill on the fiberglass bills, but for the most part, these things hold up really, really well as opposed to the standard molded bills that are that clear plastic. These seem to hold up a little bit better, and this seems to be more where the industry is going. Is these fiberglass? Some people call them circuit board lips. But it's just a fiberglass, like a gel coat type of thing. So, and it's got different fibers running both ways inside of it. So, and these are really nice crankbaits. Just like with any Jackall product, you're going to get a nice product with nice finishes. Some of their colors leave something to be desired. And this isn't a cheap crankbait by any means. It's like a $15 crankbait here. So you'll really have to budget to buy something like this, but it's got great hooks on it. The finishes that they do have are very nice, and they hold up really well. I like the eyes on them, the hardware. They've got the really nice oval split rings on the line ties there. It's just a really nice crankbait, and it works really, really well. Like I said, my thing that's keeping it down at the number 4 are the colors. They don't have some of the colors that I want. I mean, they've got a shad color here. This table rock color is pretty nice too. And like I said, with any Jackall product, you're getting good baits. But I wish that they had some more hot colors, I should say. Like some of the like this really bright red color here is a nice color, and they've got red colors too. I mean, you can see there's a red color right there from Jackall right there. So. But anyway, these are really, really nice. So if you guys haven't tried out the Jackall stuff, make sure you give those a shot. The number 3 is a super duper nice crankbait, and probably close to a number 2 for me is this Spro Fat John. This is the bigger 5/8 ounce version. And it's probably the only 5/8 ounce version or big crankbait, because this is like a 3-inch crankbait. It might be a 2.5. It looks like it's 2.5, but it's definitely overbearing. I mean, it's a big crankbait as opposed to some of like this like the smaller one here from Lucky Strike. But this crankbait here, it feels or it moves like a small crankbait in the water, and it's not really a true square bill. It's more like a coffin bill, as opposed to a square bill, and it's a flat-sided crankbait as opposed to a round-sided crankbait. But it behaves like a square bill in the fact that it's got a nice wide wobble to it, so it has that swinging arc to it when it's going through the water, where a normal flat-sided crankbait would have a real tight wobble going through the water. This has got a nice swing to it going through the water. It hunts in the water, and they've got really good colors, Spro does. And like I said before, just like Jackall, Spro makes a really nice product, you guys. So if you guys haven't tried the Fat John, I like the bigger ones as opposed to the smaller ones. They came out with the smaller ones. I have limited experience with the smaller ones, but the bigger one, I have lots of experience with these ones, and it's one of my favorite crankbaits to throw. Usually when I'm choosing a crankbait, if I see this one first, I'm usually picking it up. Even over my other two, my top 2 crankbaits. If I see this one first in the box and I see a color that I need, I'll pick one of these up and I'll fish with it, because they are really nice, and they come with Gamakatsu hooks, and they're about 10 or 12 bucks. So they're getting to the expensive range, but they're definitely not as expensive as some of the other Squarebill crankbaits that are on the market that could get up to $25. My next one, my number 2, which was my number 1 for a long time, is the XCalibur XCS 100. Not the 200, and definitely not the 300. The 300 is like 3/4 of an ounce, and the 200 is just okay. But the XCS 100, it's like a 1.5 size. They've got some pretty decent colors. They've got the colors that I need. I really like these two colors here, which is why I picked them up to show you guys. This black chartreuse and this red craw here, or they call it Rayburn Red, I think is what they call this one. But these crankbaits are really nice, and they look very, very similar to many of the crankbaits that are on the market. But these crankbaits are only like $8, which is a great deal. And I think you can even find them for $6 sometimes if you shop around a little bit. You can find them in a lot of places. They're available just about everywhere, especially the XCS 100 size, which is in my opinion, the only size that you really need when you're using a Squarebill crankbait. But really super nice crankbaits. The hardware is pretty good. It's pretty good. The hooks aren't the greatest, but they are pretty good. I don't replace them. And the colors, like I said, if they had some more and better color choices, it'd probably be up to my number one, which is why I'm going to show you my number one right now, which is the Lucky Craft LC 1.5. Now, they've got the LC 1.5. They used to have the RC 1.5. They're the same exact crankbait, and then they come in different variations where they've got the silent versions where they're just LC 1.5, and then they got the LC 1.5 RT, which has the best rattling system out of any Squarebill crankbait I've ever heard. It's just, it's noisy, it's loud, it's obnoxious, and I love it. And then they've got the DRS, which is just kind of like a one-knocker sound, which is pretty much silent to me. But these are really nice crankbaits. This TO gill color is an awesome color. You guys can remember from my lipless crankbaits top 5 video that I talked about the TO gill color. That's an awesome color. The 1.5 in the TO gill color, that's money just about any time of the year. If you're throwing this out there, it's just something about that purple and that chartreuse with those vertical lines and that black back. That is just a money color right there, guys. And I really like these noisy ones. I've got a lot of the silent ones too, but these rattling versions, like I said, they're just obnoxious, they're noisy, and Lucky Craft has many colors, and they're great, and they hold up really well. That's really the only thing that's separating from the XCS 100 for me. So if you guys wanted a budget crankbait, didn't care about the colors or the noise, because the XCS only comes in silent. If you guys wanted a noisy crankbait or you wanted a certain color, then you can jump up to the Lucky Craft. But if you didn't care, stay at the XCS 100s, and you wouldn't be disappointed there. These are great crankbaits, you guys, and if you ever get the chance to try them out, I definitely suggest it. For whatever reason, I see Tackle Warehouse has these either permanently on sale, so as a new permanent price, or on sale recently for like 12 or 13 bucks. Buy them up, guys, because that's a really good deal. I bought a few myself, and these are wonderful crankbaits if you guys haven't tried those out. And I really have to show you guys an honorable mention. This is truly a top 6 for me, because I think this crankbait is steadily moving into my top 5. And I couldn't find a place to put it, but I have to put it in this video. It's another Lucky Craft. It's a Fat CB B.D.S. Now, they come in many different sizes. They got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think they even got a 5 maybe. But the Fat CB B.D.S. 2, it's fairly small, but it's like a ½ ounce. It's not really a 1.5 size because it's short and it's really fat, but it's got one of the best hunting actions I've ever seen on a crankbait, as far as one of the best hunting actions I've ever seen on a Squarebill crankbait. It's not really a true Squarebill because it's got rounded lips on it. And the 2 size, let me show you what a 2 looks like versus a 3, a B.D.S. 2 versus a B.D.S. 3. You see the difference there? The B.D.S. 3 is narrower, it's more slender, and it's longer. So, and the B.D.S. 2s are hard to come by in certain colors. So, so if you can find the colors that you like in the B.D.S. 2, both of these colors here are great. Especially this one right here. I mean, this is really the only one that you need. But if you guys can find a B.D.S. 2, this is a great crankbait, and I highly suggest it. Fat CB B.D.S. 2 by Lucky Craft. That would probably be like my honorable mention number 6. If you guys haven't tried out any of these crankbaits, or you're looking for something new, give any one of these a shot. You will be very, very happy. If you guys are looking for something budget, the RC2 or the XCS 100 are great crankbaits, and you can find them just about everywhere. If you want to step up to something a little bit nicer, go up to the Spro. You want to go something a little bit higher in quality, you guys can go up to something like the Lucky Crafts or the Jackall. Any one of these crankbaits, you guys are going to be thrilled to have, believe me. If you guys like the video, please hit the like button. If you guys like the series, please hit the like button. I really appreciate that. And you guys have any comments or questions, leave them down below. And hit me up on Facebook if you guys want to see what's going on in my life. I try to post stuff on there and let you guys what's going on in the YouTube universe and what's coming up as far as videos that I'm going to be posting. And I try to post pictures and stuff on there too. So check it out, and I'll accept your friend request. All right, guys, stay tuned, and thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the series. Thanks a lot.